I think you can go two ways with the creators. I think you can either go where a brand is synonymous with one person, and that person is like in everything they do, and then you push to like an organic page off the back of that, or you can go with like breadth and like loads of different creators, and therefore you like they see multiple ads, multiple people, and kind of both ways can work.
All right, folks, we are back with another episode of your favorite D2C podcast, Ad Spend. We are joined by Ollie Hudson, one of my favorite humans in the UK. I come to visit him. I'm still salty about it. We have a road show in London, and he's out gallivanting in Lisbon, but whatever. You know, I guess he's soft and he needs a vacation. Hasn't taken a vacation in like 3 years, and now he needs a holiday. I mean, these kids these days just so entitled. Anyways, as we move on. And then, as always, I'm joined with my favorite brownie, Ash Mawani. Ash, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing? Good,
Amazing.
man. Good.
I think today we should really get into some TikTok because one, I know Ollie, you're pumping proper numbers through TikTok, but two, I've heard a little bit through the grapevine, and then kind of just anecdotally through what we've seen through Triple Whale, where again D2C and SaaS are very apples and oranges, hard to compare. But Ash is also running some fairly successful TikTok campaigns. So I want to kind of toss it over to you to let me know kind of what you're seeing across your accounts. Is it still a really good ad buy for your clients? Just kind of give me a little bit of the temperature there in terms of TikTok. And are you bullish on it, bearish on it? Where do you still kind of land?
Who wants to go first? I feel like Ash can be more free. I feel like I have to be bullish on it from the position I'm in, because they're kind of turning people away. So yeah, I'm still definitely bullish on it. I think it's still, there's variables like with anything. Not every company is going to work on there still. There's a massive amount of foundational, I guess you'd call it, infrastructure that you need in place to have success, or to have scale anyway. You can probably have success, but to get stability and scale, I think you need a lot of systems and operations in place to facilitate that. If you can put those in place, however, I'm definitely bullish on it from both what it drives itself and from what impact it has on like an ecosystem. So yeah, definitely bullish. But again, there's always people who are going to find it harder than others.
Yeah, so I think for us, we've had these like really good months with TikTok, and then it kind of just like dips, and then it's back up again, right? And I think every time that's happened, and I think it kind of references what you're saying, is having that infrastructure to back it, and I think that really is just content creation. And if it's more than that, I think let's dive into that. But at least for us, what I've seen in our first round of success, right? I think May we spent 115,000 that month, right? Nothing crazy compared to what we're spending on Facebook, but it was something that also helped overall efficiency, right? Something that we talked about on the previous pod with John. What I noticed is that when we introduced new creatives that month, new styles, like very TikTok styles, like things that TikTok made me buy. Here's, 3 ways that I was able to stop my hair from falling out, right? Stuff like that. When we launched that at first, because it's completely new to the platform and, we're fresh account, fresh pixel, everything, we're hitting completely new people entirely, right? So that measure of, or that effective discovery is completely there, right? Then the following month is when we're like, it's like kind of slowing down. I don't know what it is. July, not doing well. And we were pumping out creatives every week, right? What I think happened, and you tell me if you're seeing this as well, is that there is that creative fatigue, but then there's also creator fatigue, right? And so that's why when we started looking for more creators, just to just spice it up a bit, you're not seeing the same person you're not seeing the same person in different ads, and you're seeing multiple people use the product. Then it's like, oh, I'm seeing different stuff. Oh, everyone's kind of using this product. And that's what gave us another bump in August, right? And that's why we were able to scale up in August. So I think it really came down to the amount of creatives, amount of creators. Is there anything you would add to that equation to, I guess, have brands understand what is needed for their infrastructure to scale on TikTok?
Yeah, I would say community. I think community is a massive lever. If you can have a really, really engaged organic community and you're making your page somewhere that people want to spend time, and when someone lands on that page, having never interacted with it before, there's so much value add. There's so many pain points being qualified out. There's a massive amount of like comment replies and things. I think that's quite unique to the platform. Definitely provides a lift. Not many people actually do it. Even some of our biggest spenders don't have the resource on hand to do it. But those who do get really good lift from that. I'd say like offer on the platform. I think it's a much more offer dependent platform than Facebook for sure. Yeah. Currently, I think offer provides massive leverage if you can play around with that and you can take a hit for a TikTok specific code. I'd say like TikTok specific funnels are a good lift, but not necessarily 100% needed. But yeah, definitely content kind of infrastructure is the biggest. I see there's two kind of thresholds. Once you get past a certain spend, I feel like you almost become like ever present and like conducive with the platform itself. Like people are seeing your ads so much. Like we've got a couple of clients that like, if I ever mention that we work with them to a friend, they're like, I've seen them everywhere, like 3 or 4 times a day. And it's like, you almost break people down by just being in the face so much once you get to a certain spend on there. So that I think it's a little bit less important at that scale because you kind of reinforcing the trustworthiness by being ever present. But yeah, definitely content infrastructure is the biggest. And I also agree with the creator. I think you can go 2 ways with the creators. I think you can either go where a brand is synonymous with one person and that person is like in everything they do, and then you push to like an organic page off the back of that. Or you can go with like breadth and like loads of different creators, and therefore you like to see multiple ads, multiple people, and kind of both ways can work.
Robert, do you have anything? Otherwise, I wanted to get into the tactical stuff.
Yeah, so I just want to kind of touch on that. So one, there's a couple things to unpack. So are you saying that like an organic strategy is really necessary to run actual money on TikTok, or it just helps if you can do it?
It definitely helps. We're running way more Spark ads now since they updated them than we were like even like 2-3 weeks ago, because now they actually show a landing page and don't just, because we were finding that because they used to go add to organic profile and then you'd have to click a link in the bio, like the drop off there wasn't worth it. Like it wasn't worth it because you also don't collect that data on all of your other pixels if you don't push them to the website straight away. So we weren't firing the Facebook pixel. We were losing like 30% of traffic off the organic profile. However, now you've got like the swipe up feature where it comes up and it shows you the landing page, shows you like 60 to 80% of it. The effectiveness of those have definitely increased. And then also like the effectiveness of like influencer whitelisted Spark ads have definitely increased as well. So, but yeah, I find that the organic side is the brands with good organic and then adding paid on top of that always do better. It's the same as if you had no Instagram profile. I think like you'd probably find the same, but different kind of engagement and different kind of value add.
Yeah, no, I'm totally tracking there. And there's 2 other things, then I'll toss it over to you, Ash. I do find it is fairly, and we haven't ran TikTok ads for a couple months now. And again, SaaS is totally different than D2C, but we have found it's fairly offer dependent because a lot of times people don't make, bigger purchases on their mobile. They're making it usually at a desktop or an iPad. They're sitting down, they have their wallet out or what have you. So is that kind of what you're saying when you say offer dependent, where you don't see it working well with higher AOV items, or have you pushed kind of some higher ticket items with success?
It's definitely harder for a higher AOV, definitely. And obviously I wouldn't want to discount it. What I meant by that was more like if you run an ad without an offer and you run an ad with an offer, like the lift off that offer is more significant on TikTok than any platform. I'd say like people are more, it's like price elasticity. I feel like TikTok's a more price elastic platform than Facebook, due to like I think it just skews, like it still skews a bit younger, still a lot newer, a lot less trust. So that kind of mentality is different. I would say, yeah, higher AOV is definitely more of a challenge. We've pushed products up to like 150. We've not really gone higher, personally, and we've got success up to that price point. But then I'm not saying you want to be using discounts on high OV items, because that's kind of completely opposite of what your business model is in the first place with selling high ticket.
Sure.
You don't want to be offering 50% off just to fit a platform. But yeah, I guess what I was trying to say is, people are more price elastic and more responsive to offers, so it's a bigger lever on the platform than it would be on somewhere else.
Yep, totally tracking. And then the last thing, and then Ash take over, is one of the things that actually we were chatting about a little bit in the last pod as well, is something that seems ubiquitous for everyone is the creative fatigue or the creative life cycle is just much shorter on TikTok than pretty much any other platform. Is that something that you experience as well?
Yeah, like I'd say yes, and the impact of refreshing creative is just exponential. Like we can flip returns like massively just by introducing new creative. I've kind of like two theories on this. Our biggest problem with high spending accounts is frequency. Like
Yep.
we get if we've gotten a couple of accounts spending in smaller regions. One in New Zealand, for example, where we were spending like 4K a day USD in New Zealand, which is a very, very small population,
Yep.
and we were getting really good results, but we were getting like 23 frequency on a monthly basis. So like, if you think the US is bad for like needing to refresh creative, you can imagine like we were cycling every 2 days in that region, and it's just like you just need so much volume, and you can hack the volume by making small changes or like changing the hook, but even that takes obviously resource and takes like time and effort. So the frequency is a big issue. I still believe, and I have no way to prove this, but I really believe that TikTok buckets creative heavily. Like that's why I don't think it has as much stability of Facebook. But obviously, it has a smaller user base, but it's still a massive amount of people on the platform.
Yeah.
And I believe that you're either your pixel, but I don't know which, either your pixels booking it into demographics, or the actual platform itself is pushing creative based on who's resonating with it, and it's not really breaking beyond that. And that's why you see, that's why I think we see like 6-7 frequency in US accounts where we're not spending that much money. And it's just like, I can't really explain that. It's really hard to like hypothesize why that might be, but that's the only thing I can think. It's just like it's only targeting these people who it thinks is the right fit for your business, and not even giving the rest a chance.
That's exactly what you talk about, right, Ash? Sharks kind of just start circling the same blood in the water.
Yeah. That's why that's why creative refresh is so important, because then you do hit different, if you can hit different angles as well, rather than like refreshing the same one. I think it's better off if you're like, one of these creators did, I was losing hair because of postpartum depression. And that's an entirely different angle that we never tried before. And the engagement that it got was a lot more than our like other ads. And I was like, there's so many things that we could try here. Like just going into different maybe illnesses or like, things like that, where it's like you can hit different types of like conditions, like at least for like a collagen product, right? Or, there's so many things that you can kind of go after. And then that too with the different style of creative as well. I've noticed a transition in, how you have like the TikTok style like font. I've noticed a transition in the fonts that people are starting to use now, which is a little bit more higher quality, like call outs. And those ads have been performing better for us too. So like I've seen it on Twitter, like a lot of people are like, yeah, the future of TikTok is more professional style videos. I'm starting to believe that, because the way that the platform is going to evolve, I think it also needs to evolve in the ads as well. So like I've seen brands that are doing professional style videos with like just talking about the offer instead of making it feel like a TikTok. It's like those are actually working too. Like I think people are expecting. I think now we've gotten to the point where people are expecting ads on the platform versus like, oh, like they're just rolling it out, but it still needs to look like TikTok style, like organic content. I think you can start getting away with offer driven ads. Have you started to see that as well?
We do. We are very heavy UGC, but I've definitely seen other companies. A really good example that pops in my head is Smile Direct Club. Like their ads are high production in a dentist, and I think this is I think I'd say that is definitely the case. I think there'll still. I feel like there'll always be a place for both, and it'll be probably unique to each business. Obviously, for them, like they're a cosmetic dentist. Like they're going to benefit from having a high production, high trust environment within the content. Whereas if you're selling like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head, something that doesn't really require that level of trust. Like if like something that's like a gadget or a toy gun, like then you probably don't
Apparel or
need that.
something.
Yeah. Whereas for yourself, it'd be interesting to know within those ads, do you see any difference in like conversion by age group? Like, do the older people attach themselves more to the high production stuff? Do the younger people resonate more with the UGC stuff? I'd probably find, like, in my mind that would make sense, but without the data, I wouldn't
Makes
know.
sense, yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see like how that changes. I agree. I do think it'll become more high production. Because they're bringing out obviously long form video on the platform and everything. I don't know if they're going to do the same with ads, but it'd be interesting to see how content develops
Changes,
over time.
I do want to
I had
kind of
something
get
to
into
add.
like the tactical stuff if you're ready, because I know you got some, you tweet out some like, secret sauce and like one ad per ad set type of, it feels like 2016 Facebook again, like you can kind of hack your way
Yeah, it is.
to conversion. So I'm wondering what you're seeing now in terms of like, are you like, what's your testing structure look like? What's your scaling structure look like? I think that's the biggest question that I get. It's like, how are you structuring everything? And to be completely honest with you, it's like, it's a crapshoot. Like nothing works for more than a week. I'm always changing shit. So I'm wondering what you're doing. That's like, that's proving to be successful.
Yeah. So ours depends on budget. So like if you're small, if you've got a lot of money to spend, like we basically set up a massive creative sandbox and isolate all the creative testing. The reason we do that is because the spend allocate. You must have seen how bad the spend allocation is at, like, I think at all levels, but especially creative. It's so favorited towards engagement as one side, and just if something works, they'll just let's just spend $2,000 on this and give the rest nothing. And then you'll isolate them, and then you'll find that, oh well, all three of these could scale. That's why we kind of die on the hill of like isolate your creatives when you're testing them. And because of what we said earlier about them gating them into different demos, like one might be good. You might that's what's giving us the gateway to scaling accounts to like 8-10K a day spend, is like isolating the videos and then trying to see how much money each video can support, like is basically what we do, and then just cycling them out as they fatigue. But yeah, testing structure is if we have enough money, isolate the creatives. If not, we'll just go kind of 3 creatives per ad set, just usual stuff. Try and find the winners, and then we'll set up kind of scaling campaigns beyond that. I have to agree with you, to be honest. Like we do a bit of everything in the accounts. It's not nowhere near as scientific as, like, we also run a lot of Facebook ads through our other agency, and that feels a lot like formulaic, whereas TikTok feels like, let's throw some stuff at a wall and see what sticks for a bit, and then let's always be testing, let's always be iterating, let's always be trying new things. Because as you say, like 1 week ACO might work, the next week like cost caps work really well if you're going into like a payday period, because you get loads of great signals and you can get like $1 or below CPMs, but then they'll stop working after you go through that period. So it's definitely compared to Facebook, there's a lot more time in the account, a lot more like hypothesizing, testing, and then kind of validating or disproving your ideas.
So I have a few like maybe like rapid fire questions, kind of just based off of what like I'm seeing. So like how many ads are you typically testing at like one time?
As many as the budget will support. Like in one account at the moment, I've got 18 ads in a creative sandbox with each ad at $50 a day, and we'll just cycle, and we'll also scale the sandbox. So if something works, I'm not turning it off. We're just like, let's see how much money this can take. So literally as many as we can with the budget that we're given.
And then how long are you typically letting these tests run before deciding?
Ooh, great
We do 3 days just because it's just that may not be the most efficient way to spend the money. Like you may be able to make that decision quicker, but it just works for us. It allows us to be a bit more systemized in the accounts, and then if it works, we'll just leave it and we'll scale it. Like we'll double budgets on it every day pretty much until it stops working.
And then how are you? So let's say out of these 10 tests that you're running for the week, right? Let's say 3 perform really well. Okay. What's your next step? What do you do in a scale?
If it's a big spend account, I'll take each creative and set its own campaign up and run one creative per campaign and or you could do it in all the same campaigns and name the ad set the different creatives and basically see how much money you can put behind that ad set. We run horizontally at the moment. I know a lot of people run a lot of vertical scale through TikTok, but we do that because of like risk, attitude to risk. Like I'd rather have 4 ad sets at £250 a day than one ad set at £1,000 a day because of how unstable the platform is. And when we launch those, one of them might get like $10 CPA and the other one might get 50, and it's like, well, that makes no sense because I'm using the same audience, but it must just be the algorithm. So we'll take it. We'll launch like as many ad sets as we can. We'd still the key to that is you still have to use the 50. So you got to target 50 conversions in a week and be aggressive with your budget on those, because otherwise it is just like a roller coaster. You've got no chance. So you've got to have enough money to still do that, and you've got to consolidate to that point. But if we've got enough spend, we'll broaden it out and we'll throttle it.
So the goal would be to get out of learning, right? The 50 conversions, because that's something that I've seen. I feel like when I do want to move things into scale, I typically wait until that's out of learning before I set up another scaling ad set. I don't know if you try to do the same. Like I try to keep like 20% of my budget in learning or testing, whatever it is, but the rest has to be outside of learning or whatever it is, just because like I've noticed less volatility that way. I don't know if it's just like pure coincidence or just in my head, but what are your thoughts there?
That's interesting. I've not actually tracked percentage of spending learning. That's something I'd have to like be more intentional with tracking myself. That's something I could ask the team and then reflect on. But I think we're just quite aggressive with budgets. If something's working, if we find a creative that works, we're usually quite confident to get aggressive with the spend behind it, because it'll usually hold well, and then eventually it'll just stop working. So yeah, if the business we're working with will allow us, we'll just kind of throw as much up as we can with those videos and just equally split spend across them, and then pivot it to the one that's showing the most promise and results.
And targeting, what does that look like for you?
So again, product specific. If it's something that's very broad with an offer, so like, I don't know, if you've got low price jewelry as an example, just to pick something out the top of my head, like that appeals to a massive demographic. So we tend to keep it pretty broad. We'll run a lot of broad. We'll test like recommended interest. We'll test like apparel and clothing as a stack. We'll try and keep those audiences as broad though, because I'd rather benefit from the lower CPMs on a product like that than try and like gate it into this like niche band of people. We'll test like lookalikes at large scale lookalike stacked. A bit of everything in honesty there, but mainly broad. And then once we've got a bit of data, we'll start cutting out segments and trying to like niche it down to the people who are obviously showing the best CPAs. If it's a niche product, then at that point we'd get a little bit more like specific with what we're targeting. So I'm trying to think, like if again, on top of my head, if it's something for vegans, then let's like try and segment these very obvious people into some sort of targeted group. Use the customer list probably more. Use the lookalikes more than we would with something that's very broad.
Have you done automatic targeting yet?
Yeah, I've had mixed experience with it. It works really well I find it works really well for us. Niche. Yeah, I don't know if you're a niche product, but you're a little bit more niche than like a jewelry bit, like some mainstream jewelry again. Like when I say mainstream jewelry, you think about those like relationship bracelets that you saw on the platform loads at the start of the year. like, do you need to do automatic targeting when you can pretty much just run it to everybody on the platform? Whereas for you, like, I mean, the learning that TikTok probably gets off the people who actually click on your ads and engage probably allows it to learn a lot and then shift that targeting pretty effectively. Um, so I think that that's something that people should think about when they're picking the targeting. I think like think about like what is your demos, and rather than just kind of following what people say they're doing on Twitter and stuff, like be a bit smart with those decisions. But yeah, automatic's working for us fairly well.
Sorry, Rabba. I'm good on my questions.
No,
Yeah.
no, those are fantastic questions. No, they're super sensational. I love them. I just had want to make sure we're bringing everybody along. Can you explain what you mean when you say horizontal scaling versus vertical scaling?
Yeah. So vertical would be basically real consolidated. So if you've got if you've got an ad set that's on like a thousand a day and you want to double your budget, then you'd increase the budget on that ad set to 2,000 a day over a period of time. You wouldn't just whack it on like, let's go, let's do it, let's just double it now. Whereas horizontal would be like you duplicate that ad set. Maybe you'd add two more ad sets at 500 a day, or three more ad sets at 350. Well, you know what I mean, a day, and like have more ad sets rather than one central core campaign and core ad set. Having like that's how we do it. Again, more due to attitude to risk, more due to like assessing how unstable the platform is and being like, well, I want to insulate against that as much as we can. But I know that other people have success just slamming everything in one big CBO and just letting it rip. So it's more like try and do what the ad account likes and see what it likes and then just follow that. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Cody still runs. I haven't actually seen anything from what he's doing, but I'm pretty sure he's very much like spend as little time in the ad account as possible. Let's put it all in one thing and let's let it run. So yeah, that's just what we do.
What would you say to somebody that is like TikTok curious? Like, hey, Ollie, I want to start bringing TikTok on as an acquisition channel, but I don't know where to start. What advice would you give to that person?
Consume a lot first if you've not spent time on the platform. Consume, like a
Interesting.
lot of people will come to it and not have spent any time on the platform and won't understand how it's different to. I'm assuming if someone like that is asking that question, there's someone who's advertised a lot on some other mainstream acquisition channel and have
Right.
now seen TikTok as an opportunity to jump on. So they're going to naturally treat it like a Facebook or like whatever channel they've been spending money on. So I think it's important to go and consume like the ads library, spend some time on the platform, maybe not too much time, like don't spend 8 hours a day like some people do. But dive in, like consume some brands content, like get into the funnels and then see what people are doing and kind of like assess how it's obviously an entertainment platform. So like think of how, like have a think about how your brand would fit into that. Because the first thing you're going to have to do is make content. Like I wouldn't bother launching until you've made the content and got through that. And then once you've got that, just put some ads up and see what metrics you get, and then learn off those. Like the data is going to tell you, right, people don't resonate with this video. Use like your hook metrics. Use your watch times. Like learn from that information about like what people do and don't like, and then iterate from there. Because that's what you got to do, really. Just learn and iterate and progress.
Amazing. Conversion campaigns only, or do you run any other objective?
Yeah, we only run conversions really.
Okay.
We did we did some hashtag targeting, then run video views, and that kind of worked. It's a bit of a hack though. I don't know if I wouldn't recommend it. I think if you're first starting out, just keep it simple. You'll have to warm the pixel up, which is a bit annoying, but you can kind of skip that to a degree now. You just put it on add to cart and just let it run for a few days, then switch to purchase. Yeah.
Amazing. And then the last question is, so I can't repurpose any content. So if I have this big library from say Facebook or something like that, you would not recommend somebody. So say I did all the Ollie check marks of I played with the platform. I understand what my users want. I have kind of a ideal customer profile in my head. I'm kind of understanding the funnel, the flow, et cetera, et cetera. I have all these prerequisites, but now I don't have any content. Do you wait and find like either like hire your agency for UGC or somebody that can make videos for TikTok, or do you just try and let it rip with, repurposing some things like possibly I have some vertical video from Facebook or Snapchat or something like that? Can that work, or is it exclusively built for TikTok?
I think it depends on the video. I think you've got to go and look at those videos and like be a bit like honest with yourself. And Leo, after I've just done all this research, does this fit what I've just told myself is needed for this platform? If it does, then, and to be honest, there's no harm in spending like $50 a day for a few days and seeing what data you get. Warm up the pixel whilst you're producing the content, maybe like get some data, get the pixel going, make the content at the same time rather than waiting. But yeah, I'm doubtful that you'd get that much success repurposing. There's always going to be outliers to that. There's people who are going to be already making pretty good content and it just transfers well, or or their brand just naturally fits it, or the offer's so strong that it works. But yeah, I think I would find a few creators. Creators aren't hard to find. You can find them on Twitter. You can come and use an agency like us. You can use like Incense, Trendsy, so many different platforms. Just make sure your briefs are good, because creators are a bit loose sometimes. And then just get some videos and go for it.
Amazing. Ash, have you seen any cross pollination? Do you guys ever do that? Because you guys have some fantastic creatives for Facebook and TikTok, but do you ever double purpose them, or is it strictly pretty much only Facebook for Facebook? Or do you at all ever bring TikTok creatives into the Facebook ecosystem?
Yeah. Facebook to TikTok didn't work. But again, we tried that in April, May. I'm noticing a lot of like you said, Smile Direct, and like there's another one who's really like slamming almost like banner ads on TikTok. I forgot who it was, but like it's been running for a while, so I have to imagine they're seeing some type of success. But like I might have to try it again. But TikTok ads on Facebook crush. Like that's a no brainer. I feel like every single video right now on Facebook is a TikTok because they're pushing Reels so hard. So like that placement, if you're not using that placement, like your media mix needs to include that. So yeah, I mean that's like the bulk of what's performing video wise on our like Facebook account. And the thing is they last a lot longer than they do on TikTok. So we have like a ton of content that we haven't even tested yet. But yeah, I'm interested to see if it now works, knowing that people anticipate ads on TikTok more, if that makes sense.
I'd also be interested to know if you're one of those brands that are shifting really high spend, then can you then maybe pull in some middle and bottom of funnel targeting with some of these more Facebooky offer led, like product focused, discount offer focused stuff that's to people who have already watched your video, already engaged with the community. Maybe that's just because they'd recognize your name, they'd then interact with it, but I don't know. I've not tested it yet.
Super fascinating. Where do you guys see the TikTok ecosystem kind of maturing and going to? Because it does seem like there's some phase shifts where there was that old adage, don't make ads, make TikToks. And I think to your point, Ash, it's kind of inverting now, right? Where it's like make ads and put them on TikTok. And so it's kind of like, what is old is new again. And so, no, I'm just seeing that just anecdotally for me, the ads that it's scrub daddies and all these things of like really fun in platform stuff. But to your point, I think it's almost like the hipsters are not drinking PBR anymore because everybody's drinking PBR. And so now they're drinking a Bud Light or something like it's just this weird inversion of like what used to be so novel. Everybody jumped on the boat, or I like to call it the Waze effect. I don't know if you guys use Waze, but Waze will give you like these it's the navigation app, and it'll give you like these little back roads to like figure it out through a traffic jam. But then there's a certain amount of people that are taking that little back road, and then that back road gets traffic jammed. So I'm just kind of figuring out where we're going here. So I'll start with you, Ollie, and then we'll go to you, Ash. What do you think in the next like 4 to 6 months, or especially because we're about to hit our tax season, right? Like Q4 is where the money's made for almost all businesses, and that's pretty much a month away. So you have maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 days to get your armies mobilized. So what do you think in is going to happen here in terms of we also have some really interesting macroeconomic headwinds as well. So where are your thoughts, Ollie?
I think longer term, the stability will get better. I think they need to figure out that whole targeting and like just a lot of what we talked about, like bucketing creative, because it definitely happens if they can figure that out and they can allow you to expand beyond that initial pool of people, and it would turn into more of like a long term. You can put creative up, you can run it for a long period. I think one big shift is like I think there's a real, and Ash may disagree, but I think there's a lot of UGC creators, but there's only 10% of really good UGC creators. And like we've got some really good UGC creators on our roster, but there'll be a lot of brands who are going and using UGC creators who aren't good, and therefore not getting the results they're wanting. So I think that's like going to be a shortage at the moment. That's what I feel anyway. It's that hard to find someone who is very, very good at making engaging TikTok content. So I think that might be a bit of a struggle through Q4 for some brands. Is like getting the right content, getting those UGC creators on board. I'll be interested to see. Like I think, as I said, offers smash on TikTok. So like in theory, if that carries to Black Friday, then Black Friday should be crazy on there. Again, whether we can support the type of spend numbers that people are going to want to move through the platform, no idea until we try it. It was nowhere near the same platform last year. We spent some decent money, but not anywhere close to what we're going to probably put through in November this year. I don't know if there's anything else. I think that like most of the targeting, I'd say will stay the same for now. I think it'll stay like broad or automatic. Obviously, you just want to keep testing. It'll stay like Facebook took a long time to get to a point where it was more saturated. It was more like formulaic in its approach. So I imagine TikTok will probably be the same for a while. What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I think let me start with the structure. I think over time the platform will get a little bit better at discovery, right? So like for example, let's call it like first time impression ratio, right? I would say that it'll start to get better because I was talking to somebody who works at TikTok. Some of you guys may know him from Twitter and stuff. But he said that the algorithm for the For You page and the algorithm for the ads is different. So what you're into on your For You page may not reflect what ads you see. And
Interesting.
I would have thought that was their biggest, I guess, advantage when it came down to the platform, right? So I think when they figure that out, the balance between the two, that's where it kind of opens up. All right, instead of just circling for the same people, it'll start opening up the gateway to get a little bit more discovery from more people outside of what TikTok thinks is this content is relevant for, right? Two, I think we're going to start moving towards higher quality video standing out more in the ads side of things. I also do think there's going to be a little bit of a relaxation in terms of like how organic things need to look because people are going to expect ads in the feed. For example, last week we ran an ad talking about the collagen, but at the end we really pitched the offer, which we don't usually do. It's a very soft. If you're looking to improve hair, skin, and nails, you should definitely check out Avi. This was like click order now and get 4 samples for $11.99, like a closed, like a direct CTA, and that was the best performing ad the last 2 weeks. So I think people are expecting to get ads. I think people are expecting to like now get sold on. And once that starts to kind of become the norm, I think this is where the platform becomes a little bit more, a little less volatile and becomes an actual channel for like pretty solid spend for the brands that can nail that. I still think content is going to be king. It's just what type of content is it, I think is going to change over the next few months.
Just to touch on
It's interesting.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, no, go ahead, Ollie.
I was going to say, just to touch on the For You page, I think I don't, it's going to be, striking that balance, I think is going to be hard for them to do, because I don't like seeing some of my mates' For You pages. They're just like, it's just like such funny videos that have no relevance to any like macro topic in life. So it's like, how do you use that data? It's like some guy running down the beach eating crisps really quickly. It's like, what is this video? It's like, and I also think if your For You, well, I guess you could play that to your advantage. Your For You page changes so quick if you start engaging with something. I think that the platform's going to be a really interesting place over the 2024 US election. I know it's quite far away, but like, you think about like how Facebook didn't deal with that well, and they're just having to deal with paid ads. Like TikTok's organic algorithm is going to be so like almost like weaponizable in that environment to target certain people with certain content, and it's going to be very polarizing, I think. So they're going to have a bit of a headache there. That's not very related to DTC, so I won't go off the tangent. But yeah,
I'm tracking what you're saying though, because one of my biggest ways to feel rich is Spotify Premium and YouTube Premium. Like I love it. I hate ads, and so like these are like not that much money, and they're fantastic. But I'll go to hotels when I'm traveling or whatever, and they'll have YouTube, and so we watch a lot of YouTube at my house, and so like YouTube Premium, and we watch it on the TV in the living room. And to your point, it's crazy when you see a logged out version versus your actual homepage. And I feel like the logged out YouTube homepage is very similar to a For You page on TikTok for somebody that lurks a lot, that basically just kind of doesn't give the algorithm that much interaction. So it is fascinating that you say that, because that for me, that analog is just really strong. If you guys ever want, just open an incognito tab and go to youtube.com, and like these are the top videos that you're showing me. YouTube, this is crazy. Whereas like when you actually interact with the algorithm, it's actually really good. So I do see that there's going to be some issues there, or as things progress and people kind of understand what to do and how to do it, it gets into a bit of a chicken and egg problem, right? Like they move the algorithm, and then the people kind of it's almost like the old hat, right? Like SEO, like it's the exact same thing with SEO. Like you used to stuff keywords and all these things and blah blah blah, and then that stopped working. And then you did this thing, and then you do that thing. So those are really interesting predictions. I think that I'm pretty much aligned with both of you guys. I think the spend is going to go up. I still think Google and Facebook, or Facebook in specific, and Google will still be king. I think they're going to spend a ton. I think TikTok will be a much bigger third channel. But the big impediment that I see to TikTok is just there's not enough Ollie Hudsons or Ash Mawanis in the world, where it's just a big lift. I don't know anybody that's like TikTok is easy. Where I know a lot of people that's like, if you get your Facebook right, like it's not that it's like quote unquote easy, but I like the word you use, Ollie. It's formulaic, where it's more of a science and you can kind of run this machine. Where TikTok is just a lot of effing work.
yeah,
You got to source people. And then to Ash's point, even if you do get all of that in line, and I love this phrase too, I'm going to steal it from you, Ash, is creator fatigue, where it's like you're just kind of running through. And that's kind of what we've seen a little bit, just us anecdotally, is we we run a lot of UGC, but it's hard for us to run UGC because one, we have to find people that are actually know what they're talking about in marketing. Two, we have to find people that have a triple whale account because we don't currently have a demo account. So there's just all these headwinds for us. And what we found with TikTok, because we actually had a pretty strong organic presence on there for a while, there was no business relevance. Like nothing spilled over. So we'd have videos pop off to like 2 million views or something, and you wouldn't feel it. And so that was the other thing for us, where it was just really challenging. So I don't know. I'm pretty bullish on TikTok. You've brought me back around, Ollie. I just think that there's a lot of headwinds in terms of
yeah.
the other thing too is like that stability, right? Like I don't know
That's the biggest
anybody
problem.
that is
It's just like it takes.
huge.
Obviously, our job is to spend our time in the ad account for the business owner. But like if you're it's like it takes comparing it to how much time like a Facebook media buyer for us in our other agency is more content strategy, funnel strategy, helping them optimize various elements, like shifting product focused as we move stock around. Like whereas our TikTok media buys is like like we're just going to spend all day testing and like chopping and changing ads. So yeah, I think it's definitely different. I do think on the creator fatigue, I think and this is again, we don't do this currently as a service, but like this is how I feel like if your demo is somewhat younger, a community is a way to fill that void.
Yeah.
Like if you're targeting like below 25, there is going to be a lot of people in that who are actively making videos on TikTok. And if you can incentivize them to make videos for you, then you plug that hole because they already know the platform. They're already making content. You maybe have to put them through a funnel that teaches them how to make videos within your brand guidelines, but that's not hard to make. And that might produce like a positive flywheel effect as well and get like amplification. So I think there's ways to do it. It's definitely harder to set up those systems in Facebook where you can just rip a single image ad and spend 10K on it if you get it right. But it's still possible to systemize it. But then it also makes a higher barrier to entry. So maybe it'll stay easier to get good results for those who are willing to do it for longer.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And
Well put.
tidying up this, and then we'll go into the last question, is to your point, I think that the UGC market is super saturated right now, and you can get really turned off because you're going to go through 5 to 6, maybe even 8 or 9 creators, to your point, because there's only really like 10% of creators that are actually quality. They understand X, Y, and Z and things of that nature. So there's also that headwind as well. We're finding good UGCs. Like finding UGC is not hard, but finding quality UGC can be quite the task sometimes. You have to be willing to lose a little bit to find that person. And I think some people aren't really willing to make that bet yet. And so that's the other challenge again that I see for TikTok is like it's just really difficult to make creative. And then even if you do find a creative that wins, it goes back to that stability issue. Like it wins for like 2 seconds, and so it's just this viral thing that then dies out, and you're like, okay, cool. And you're kind of in a loop, just trying to find lightning in the bottle. But okay, last question for you guys. What are you guys doing to prepare for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Any tips, tactics? What do you think it's going to be like? Bigger this year, smaller this year? Give me some color there. We'll start with you, Ash, and then we'll go to you, Ollie.
I'm going to try and test my theory on the direct offers and like see if that performs well. So if that does, then obviously Black Friday, I'm going to go heavy on offer specific content. Other than that, really just getting a backlog of content ready to go. Just testing as much as I can to deploy. And then I really think that's it. Maybe just dedicated offers for TikTok, like Ollie, you mentioned. It's very, very specific to the platform. And just really, trying to nail what that funnel looks like. And then I know there's one thing that we didn't talk about, which we did see some success was with like instant pages. So instead of using like landing pages, actually using the instant page experience where you can build out like listicles or just editorials directly on TikTok. So as soon as you hit shop now, boom, instant page. Yeah, like that experience is very interesting. I've played around with it and it's done decent. So maybe I'll experiment for that for Black Friday. But I think backlog of content, testing specific offers, and then specific landing pages just for TikTok.
Yep.
Early sales at all, or are you going to do the normal calendar?
I think we'll do. I know last year we did the full month of November. I think I want to. I don't know if I want to do that this year. I want to maybe start closer to Black Friday because I feel like the sentiment is like not there anymore. But
we tracked that
another pod.
we tracked that across our client base last year, and we got more efficiency doing it over a short time frame than doing it over a longer one. Over the longer one, you get like the peak, 100%. And then you just get this period of real inefficiency. Then you get another peak. It's like we just like condense it into 7 days max and just rip it, and it just seems to give us better results.
100%.
And then maybe.
What about you, Ollie?
So it is a bit of an unknown, as I said. Like last year, we just run loads of top of funnel. This year, we're going to build more of like a funnel structure around because there's actually retargeting functionality now, whereas then there pretty much wasn't. We're also going to bring in some of these ads that are a lot more like Facebooky, more like bottom of middle of funnel, like offer driven ads, especially for those who have spent a lot of money over the last 6 months, where they're going to have decent brand recognition on the platform anyway. Creative backlog, a lot of time in the ad accounts is definitely going to happen. a lot of cost caps is going to definitely occur as well. Like the cost caps, I think will allow you to see some insanely low CPMs and cost per clicks through that period. Probably lower than you've ever seen on TikTok, like sub $1, probably sub 10p consistently for a period of time. But yeah, beyond that, it's going to be a testing different things on different accounts. To be honest, like it's I'm not going to sit here and lie and say we're going to be like, oh, this is our structure that's going to work for everybody. It's not the way we can approach it because we've not really ripped it before. So yeah, you're going to try and approach it as best we can. On the instant pages,
amazing.
The instant pages are good, and I also think they're good because TikTok's in-app browser is horrendous, which doesn't help. Like it's so slow. Yeah. They need to sort that out ASAP.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's also I think the snap issue as well. Like you get to that external, and it's just like it's such a terrible experience. Like I'm not gonna. If you do buy, you're like I'm gonna buy later or whatever. Like it's just so hard to get that direct conversion sometimes because that experience is quite atrocious.
That's why I think branded Google lift is massive off TikTok because it's easier.
That's fair.
But anyway,
yeah, you're just gonna search it and grab it. All right, you guys ready for the creepy question?
God, I forget this is a thing. Yes. I'm terrible at quickfire questions.
Yeah. No, it's just one creepy question. It's not like ROAS rapid fire. It's just one creepy question. And we'll even let you go second. All right, Ash. If you had to choose and bet on a pirate versus a ninja, who are you betting on?
Oh.
Who's going to win the fight?
Ninja. I feel like
Ninja
is like such
all day?
Yeah, 100%. All day.
Well, okay. Team Ninja. What about you, Ollie?
Do pirates have guns, don't they? Like ninjas have those weird star things that they can. I think it's pretty 50-50. Pirate's got one shot, hasn't he? Because he has to do the whole like reload.
They usually carry. That's why they carried so many weapons.
Yeah.
So that's why they carried so many guns because they didn't ever refill or reload. They would just shoot the guns, and a lot of times they were faulty.
I'm gonna go ninja because I think he'll hop around too much and he'll miss, and then just throw one of those stars and it's over.
That's fair. I got to go pirate just because they're scrappy. I don't know. I feel like they'll get it done. Maybe fake like they're dead. Yeah. And the ninja's
That's
honorable.
What I was thinking.
Like a pirate will do something sketchy because it's a win at all costs kind of guy or gal.
Yeah.
Versus a ninja is an honorable person. But 2 ninja, 1 pirate.
Yeah.
I like it. You guys, it was good logic. It's good logic. I dig it.
It's good.
Ollie, tell the people where they can find you. Tell them how to get more involved with Soar With Us. You're a TikTok agency. This time is yours, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter mainly, Oliver W. Hudson. We've got obviously 2 agencies if you're looking for anything TikTok related. We've got foryouadvertising.com. We're getting a new website. I've had a lot of beef for the website on Twitter recently, so try not to give me any more. It's coming soon. And then if you're looking for anything beyond that, anything generally e-com, then we've got a full service agency called soarwithus.co. So you can find us there. Thank you for having us on.
Amazing. Of course, anytime. Ash, you know what to do. Tell the folks what happens if they drive by a vitamin shop. Do they need to pull the Yui?
If you pass a vitamin shop and you don't pull a Yui, I don't want to ever talk to you again. Go to a vitamin shop. Go to the beauty section. Find Avi. Put it up on the top shelf. I'm just kidding. Take a picture. Tag me on Twitter. Which you can follow me there at Ashford Melwani. Also on MentorPass. If you need any help with paid, Facebook, TikTok, this and that, I'm your guy. And I think that's it.
Be on the lookout. The November Q4, come help these guys out. Buy all that amazing collagen. Fruity cereal bars are amazing. And then you said you had a new one for me.
New one coming out tomorrow. So by the time this launches, it'll probably already be out. But I can tell you.
Okay, tell me.
Mint chocolate chip.
Ooh. Oh. Is that the one that everyone was trying to guess? Yeah.
They're so good.
Good ice cream flavor.
So good. You guys sent out a bunch
insane.
Of stuff.
I'm going to have to send you some, Rava. It's
please.
Yeah, have you had those Andes chocolates?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. That's it. That's exactly it.
After the Sizzler buffet, baby, I grabbed me a couple Andes, bish bash bosh, close it out.
Exactly.
Gotta have that. Fire. Amazing. Ooh, I'm looking forward to those. That's fantastic. Ooh, right before the Q4 too. Great timing. Great timing. If you folks want to get more involved with Triple Whale, we are triplewhale.com. We're on the Bird app at Triple Whale. And then we have a wonderful newsletter that goes out every Tuesday, Thursday called Whale Mail. You can subscribe right on our website, triplewhale.com/whale mail. And that's it. That's all in the books. If you do want to hire me, I am on Mentor Pass as well.
I'm
You can
also a
support my
Mentor
ridiculous sneaker habit. I got to send you the, oh, look at this. The triple.
Yeah, we're all
amazing.
on.
Get you some time with Ollie Hudson. Amazing. Yeah, shout out, Kenny. I got to send you my new office setup, Ash. You're going to love it. My sneakers are in the office. I ran a poll and the sneakers went out instead of the bar cart. So we have sneakers in the office. So we'll send that out. What else? Yeah, folks. And if you do enjoy this podcast, share with your friend, subscribe. It's available on YouTube's and then your favorite podcast catcher. And that's all we got. Thanks so much again for your time, Ollie. You're the best. Get out to Austin soon. Ash, hopefully everything kind of quote unquote works out for you and I get to see you in Austin in a couple weeks. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's another ad spin in the books. Thanks for joining us, everybody.